What's going on in QB's world? What you got going on over there? Random rambling, it's a lot over here, so just keep up. Welcome to my life, be like real life told by QV. What it look like this week? We ain't got time like we usually do. Oh, yes, girl, I'm so happy to have you here. This is what my life be like. Exclusive episode. Baby, what's deep? It's hard.
And I am back. And today is going to be a very different day on this podcast. So y'all better buckle up because you done already heard this is the exclusive. And to this, I call this triggered the response. Now, if you've been here for a long time and a good time, especially the whole time, like since August, you know that a lot of people, and I've discussed this, and you follow me here, there, and everywhere. You know that a lot of people had been asking me to delve kind of towards religious, or ask me questions like why I don't do like why is this not a Christian or religious podcast, seeming that I am a clergy person and all the things. And I think y'all figured out in this season 2 why I don't do Christian content. I know I figured out why I don't do religious content, period, because as a deconstructionalist, I don't want to cause wrath in your life that you're not ready for. Or cause you to doubt and everything else. Because I'm going to tell you, as someone who's been deconstructed for a long time, you got to have a lot of strong will and a lot of common sense and a lot of open mind and stuff. And I know that Christians tend not to have it. Not all of them. Some of them. Not all of them. Which is how we get stuck in these wicked cycles. So I'm gonna address some stuff, and this is gonna be my outro to season 2. I hadn't quite decided whether I'm gonna start season 3 this week or next week. Yet. But so this is what we did this season. Y'all ready? So we opened up this season and we talked about when faith becomes a weapon, healing from a trauma bonded religion. Then I rambled a week, and then I came back with Toxic Black podcast culture at request, and then at a request, we went into the holidays, and then I gave y'all an exclusive on Toxic Black culture, period, because somebody asked me to do that coming off of the Toxic Black podcast culture, and then I went missing, and I rambled for a couple of weeks, and then I did the Black Woman Savior. Then I did the Adult Literacy Crisis, the Faith Cover Up, and then the Proximity is Improving. A lot of content this season was religion based. Here's what I want y'all to know about how I formulate content, purely by request. A lot of y'all say, well, I don't be seeing people because I moderate content. I moderate my comments and stuff, but a lot of people respect me enough to not write stupid stuff out in private. I mean, out in public. I don't believe in that hateful comment stuff. I moderate my comments. So a lot of time, y'all, I delete comments all the time. I'm not gonna deal with it. I ain't gonna block you in there, but I'm gonna delete your comment because I don't care. But I hadn't posted this season much about. I mean, some stuff I did, but not a lot of stuff. Like I didn't post snippets and stuff this season. I'm gonna get back to that. Here I am yawning already. I am sleepy. I ain't gonna tell y'all, I don't lie. This Chill Friday, I am sleepy. So I'm not gonna do a subscribers only this week. This is gonna close my season 2, and I don't know if I'm gonna do season 3 tomorrow or what. But another way I formulate my podcast is I do pray about stuff all the time. Even when y'all give me stuff, I do pray because I'm wise enough not to talk about stuff that I don't need to talk about. And I do make, even if I'm not talking about a per se Christian topic, I do make a lot of religious references. I'm still a clergy person, more specifically an apostle, and so I still have to be careful with my speech and what I say. A lot of people do, against popular belief, actually listen to me more as semi somewhat therapeutic advice seeking, knowledge building. So would I, and they express their, gratitude privately. So in knowing that I am influential in that lane, I always make sure I'm praying about what I'm gonna talk about. And I talk about what I know. I don't have black podcast culture, toxic black podcast culture. I'm against that. People just pick up the microphone and just be talking about anything. I want you to be knowledgeable about whatever I'm speaking about. And I want to be sensible about what I'm speaking about. Now, I know what I speak about can get uncomfortable. I know it can. I ain't even gonna sit here and hold you up. I know it can get uncomfortable, but I want y'all to know I'm not intentionally out here trying to hurt people and hurt their feelings. I'm trying to make you more knowledgeable and more aware, especially when you don't come from the walks in the background and the experiences that I come from, but you commingle, network, and are acquainted with me. The whole purpose of this podcast is real life and it's told by me. These are my lived experiences and interactions and things I see and stuff that I feel like people period should know about. I know there are things that are not of my culture that are of others that I should know about that could be potentially uncomfortable, but I would never approach y'all the way y'all approach me sometimes. And I think people think that I'm a bird and I'm not. Cause I would tell you I would cuss you out. So this season here, I ain't play with it. I have always been a person that ain't scared to talk. I will say what people won't say, the stuff that they avoid, the stuff they ignore, but I'm gonna always tell the truth, whether it's uncomfortable, it feels good, or whatever. And these responses, I mean, y'all, the responses have been wild. I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I don't want people, and I even if you listen to my episodes about, I'm not against happy. I mean, I'm not a proponent of happy preaching. People need to know the truth. They need to be well informed and knowledgeable about the faith, whether it makes them feel good or not. I'm not telling you to get up there and tell people's business and try to whoop them with biblical principles, scripture, Bible, etc., to try to get a point across, but they do need to be informed with life applications in their faith. Period. Um, so let's get in this. I know the biggest three things this season that I talked about that y'all have wrecked my phone and inbox was actually the last 3 episodes. I got a lot of heat about these last 3 episodes, which is why I made this exclusive. They're tailored more to these last 3 episodes because y'all was at the beginning, whatever. But these last 3 episodes got y'all in a tears. Um, I've been accused of trying to make people feel less than. I'm trying to make people feel stupid. Trying to cause more division than what it is. I've been told that I'm taking stuff out of context. That's not the way it really is. I done heard a lot since Sunday. I heard a lot since Sunday. And rather than continue to make TikTok after TikTok after TikTok after TikTok after TikTok, because I'm going to upload a TikTok today about somebody asked me to explain when I talked about multiracial versus multicultural churches, which is I'm good at breaking it down. They don't require a whole podcast episode. So yeah, I'm gonna upload that. But this faith as a cover up, the adult literacy crisis, and the proximity is the proof. Got y'all in a tizzy and loud, and I'm not no argumentative person. Let's hammer this out right now. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm only gonna give you some truth and some reality and some evidence to support it. Um, I ain't finna be. I don't do all that. QV just don't do all that. Um, hold on. My phone keep going off, and I'm trying not to get distracted because I'm trying not to be at this microphone a long time. Um, I'm really just gonna hold y'all hand with a wet napkin and tell y'all that I meant what I said, and I said exactly what I meant. So, I guess the first thing I want to start off with is um faith. Because a lot of y'all, and I mentioned this, have this ideal of faith that isn't really faith. Is opinionated, is self-convicted, and is unrighteous. And a lot of y'all have this like Christian is a monolith or an idea, your idea of what faith is and what it actually is two worlds apart. And I explained that's how we got some of these religious extremist groups, political groups that can come in the name of the Lord and really just the Antichrist. And I tried to explain this that a lot of people, and I want to hone in on this, and I know I talked about this in the TikTok that I made. Y'all, a lot of people don't read the Bible. And it's apparent. Let's take the incident from yesterday with Pete Hegseth quoting Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction, etc. A lot of people don't read the Bible. A lot of people's a lot of their altitude in faith is just as high or as low as their pastor or their leader's altitude. They really don't know anything past what they hear in church. So their whole faith is just whatever they regurgitate. They just regurgitate what they know or what they heard. They don't go back and fact check it. They don't do anything. You don't have very many. I want y'all to understand. You don't have very many well equipped teaching. Let me break this down to you, pastors. And you don't have many churches that do Bible study. We've moved into the era of small group. And if you have never been to a church with small group, they're kind of niche based, cohort based. They're not always religious based. It might be a small group for single moms who want to talk about life and stuff. They're not, quote, they might talk about very superficial things in the Bible, or they might have words of encouragement and affirmations and do those kind of artsy cutesy projects. But a lot of these church based small groups aren't Bible based. Let's take the scripture, because And this is another thing when we talking about the culture in the black church versus the white church, especially now. Most white churches have moved away. I'm not gonna say all, but a good portion of white churches I know have moved away from the Bible study model. They've moved into the small group model. Me, this is the way I was raised, um, and sort of kind of what my pastors them do as well. You have which the topic in the sermon you're preaching on Sunday or whatever, and you might give a couple of scriptures or whatever, and you preach through that and it's your Sunday sermon. And then on Bible study time is when you really take your concordance and your Bible study materials and you really delve into that topic. And I really think, and I could be wrong, y'all. This is just the way that I was brought up. I really think that's the correct way of doing it. You preach about it on Sunday, you teach about it on Bible study day. It only makes sense to me. It might not make sense to either one of y'all, but this is why I say we don't have very many pastors and leaders of the church that are well equipped to run them. And that's on any side of the spectrum, our culture, anything. We just up there. I've seen people full on preaching at Bible study, and I'm like, it's steady. It's supposed to be like steady hall. Steady hall. And prayer is always good. Intercessory is always good, but I think at Bible study we need to be studying the word that was given on Sunday, because Sunday, let me tell you about Sunday, especially when you're in a church like mine. Sunday moves fast. A lot of times people are in the spirit, getting healed, getting delivered. A lot of the leaders on Sunday are working the altar, working the floor, working the pulpit, etc. And so you get your meat or whatever, you get your meat and stuff on Sunday. But I also think you need to come back when you're low and sitting and you can hear everything and be coherent at Bible study and talk about this. So, me personally, I'm on one scripture and might do a cross reference or two type of um, sermon outline, girl, and then I would go ahead and have a few scriptures, passages, life applications, maybe some book references, etc., to go with my Bible study material, handouts, etc. Because that's the way I feel like we truly will grasp these Christian principles. And we won't be doing crazy stuff. A lot of people take the Bible and what it say out of context. And if you really study the Bible, when you go to leadership school, you learn that the Bible in certain places was written to a certain people and it applied to these people in this time period. And this is the history of what was going on with the people. And then you realize this ain't even what we're doing right now in America. So why would we even be applying that to our life? Or this ain't the culture of living these days. So why would you be applying that to like right now? And then we get into the picking and the choosing of what we're gonna do, what we don't want to do. And I tell people, if you're gonna be extreme in the Bible, you gotta do everything. You gotta pluck your eyeballs out. You gotta kill your firstborn. You gotta do everything if you're gonna be there. You can't be around here eating crab legs and seafood and everything and telling women they can't cut their hair and they gotta learn a long skirt to the floor. Now, come on. Come on. You ain't gonna eat pig, but you gonna eat crab and other stuff. Come on now. It's just an animal that can't chew their cud. You gonna have to eat all of them. You gonna cut them all out. Like let's not. I want people to stop getting so wrapped up. I don't know what the need is to crucify people when we already have a savior? What do y'all get out of crucifying people with the Bible? Weaponizing the Bible to crucify people. Let me be more clear about it. I don't get it. I've had a couple of people try to use that against me this week. Babe, that don't work. You can go call God himself on me, and that probably won't work either. Because I pray and I know, and I'm not trying to be mean and ugly. I'm only trying to inform you. I ain't trying to be ugly. That ain't even in my nature. I be legitimately want everybody to be knowledgeable, coherent, conscious, and informed. I just think we do too much. With religion, I really think we do too much. And I'm going to have a real open and honest, transparent moment with y'all right now. I really do not like the fact that I'm a Christian right now. And this is where I'm having to be called in the faith and answer my call to the kingdom and work through this. Because most days it seems to be impossible to work through y'all in y'all's foolishness and stupidity and coming in the name of Jesus. And I sometimes, and I think I ask God this maybe once a day, like, how do they not see what I see? And I know the answer to that. But every day we get in this spiral that I feel like we just spiraling more and more out of control every day. And I'm like, Lord, how do they not see what I see? Like, how are they so deceived? And I know how y'all are deceived. Hate has y'all deceived. Opinions got y'all deceived. Thinking you better than somebody that you not have you deceived. Not having your own mind and brain to think. I think we set people up for failure when we put everything out in front of them. That's a church cultural difference. I can tell you when I was at the white church, and I kind of discussed this, that we didn't really read the Bible. Now, I'm not saying all white churches are like that. I'm saying they really didn't delve too deep in the Bible because they had like 5 services and they're knocking service out in an hour and 20 minutes. So we got to speed roll and move. And we got to do baptisms and we got to do announcements and we got to do all of this in an hour and 20 minutes. I'm not saying that you have to be a long-winded preacher because you already know I ain't there either. Like, give me 7, 10, 15 minutes tops, because that's why you need Bible study to delve deeper in the word. That's why I like the model that I was taught. That's the model of church I came up with. That's why I said I've always had pastors who were equipped to teach the word that they preached. They weren't just up there hooping and hollering. Oh, glory. Hallelujah. Or they saying, preach it. Yeah, yeah, you gotta preach it. Like, that's not really the culture. I've been to churches like that, and I've been a part of ministries like that. But the core way that I was brought up to how we do this is we preach a little bit and we teach a lot. It's imperative that you own a Bible and a concordance, or a Bible app and a concordance app. There's an app and notebooks or notes, or you know how to take notes out of the Bible app or whatever you use. You need a paper Bible, y'all. And highlighters and a notepad to write. You learn better when you write this stuff down. Limit your screen time with the Bible. I think that's a lot of what's going on right now. Everything is in this It's easy for you to consume because all they do is spit it out, and we living in this 24-hour news cycle, and all they do, you got your phones and everything glued to your hands and stuff. So yeah, that's that. Have mercy. I done talked so much. I ain't even really got where I was supposed to be. I wrote some points down because I always write points down. Um, and to really back in, you know, I I get see how I'm gonna put this. I get um convictions. I get corrections. I get um rebukes, etc. But what you don't get to do is weaponize God and faith to do harm. You don't get to mistreat people. You don't get to manipulate people and hide behind scripture. And that's my problem. That's what makes me so sad about being a Christian clergy person. And I want y'all to know this. Like, I've fallen victim to some of this stuff in the past, y'all. I told y'all I was essayed by a pastor. I was also propositioned into some crazy stuff by somebody that was a leader in the church that I trusted as a teenager. And I felt like I had to do it or else type of moment. And I can look back on that moment now. I know it's been 20 years now since that happened. I can look back on that moment now, and I can look back on that whole span of my life now and understand that I I don't know what I wanted. Everything in my life at that point was really just a traumatic response. I talked about in the first season about my hypersexuality. After I got SA, I went through. This is why I don't like weaponized faith. You put people in a position where they think they can't question you, they can't ask you, or they have to do stuff and like that. Oh, if I might as well, if I don't do it, this will happen. And nothing, no worse than what actually happened would have happened if I would have said no. But I understand that now at 36. I didn't understand that at 15. That's how I was. 14, 15. Because guess what? With these titles and everything else that y'all use to whoop people with, God don't know your heart, baby. Your actions speak louder than any one of them beliefs you got. And silencing people and shaming people and hurts people in spaces where they're supposed to be safe. Do y'all not understand that Christianity, the church, Jesus, all the things are supposed to be a safe space, a sacred space? People are supposed to come to church and be healed. It is supposed to be literally a hospital. And you got people who don't want to come, and I don't blame them. I had somebody to call me out on that this week. It's like, you know what? You this and you that, and I don't really see you at church like that no more, and blah blah this. And I'm like, well, I have a lot going on. And I try to do stuff that ain't mentally gonna put me in a bad place or in a worse place per se. But I always tell y'all, the biggest heathens, hells, and devils go to church anyway. I going to church sometimes, and I let me for y'all go crazy. Going to church can be performative. If you ain't got your heart right, if you have not asked the Lord to create in you a clean heart and renew a right spirit in you, and you just going to church and you still nasty and you still crazy and you still doing all the things you going to act, sign you up, clown. You ain't doing nothing but going to create a circus. If you not gonna be an example, be a witness like Acts 1 and 8, if you're not gonna bear witness, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why you step foot in church. If you're not gonna transform, like Romans 12:1 and 2 say, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present yourself a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, which is your reasonable service, and be ye not conformed, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Like, if you're not gonna do all that, then stop going to church. And two, let me tell y'all, stop holding stuff against people that don't go to church, because you know what? The church ain't acting right now. And people are confused. Maybe start fixing the church so people can get back to what they was doing. Have y'all ever start thinking about you might be the problem? One thing I've learned and I've talked about this with the fall of my marriage is I took accountability for it because I knew it was my fault. I knew I had missed red flags. I knew I had done my dirt. I knew I wasn't good to go cookies and marigold fields. I took responsibility. It's time for the people that sit in church to take responsibility for the slantiness of the church and the craziness in America. It belongs. The problems that's going on right now in America belong to the Christians. We did this. And if you don't want to take part in help fixing it, then move along, sister, girl, brother, boy. People are perishing every day. People are turning away from the faith every day. Just go down the hall on TikTok to see people, and I've talked about this too, to see people who have pastored in Christian churches for 20, 30 years, to see people who spent their time and their money on seminary. And I'm going to tell y'all now, seminary is not easy. To see them spend their time and money in seminary and to turn around and walk off on God, it's crazy. The blood is on your hands. To see the foolishness of saying I love everybody, but not if you black, but not if you homeless, but not if you're a woman, but not if you gay. To put stipulations on love, on care, on making disciples, on bearing one another's burdens, on feeding the hungry, on blessing people. Y'all got stipulations on every part of what Jesus told us to get out here and do. What are y'all doing? And y'all talk about people don't come to church. She don't come to church. They don't come to church. Oh, they a heathen. Ain't nobody a heathen but you that can fix your mouth to call somebody a heathen. I want nothing but for people to be free. And the church right now is bondage. It's doing too much. People don't know what to believe, what to say. Y'all all divided. Got one over here, one over there, this over there. What do you expect people to gain if they don't have understanding? If they don't know? How do y'all expect to bring new people into faith and to keep the people here that y'all got at the same time when y'all worshiping idols? I heard somebody on TikTok yesterday that say Donald Trump is a golden calf. And is. How do you idol? What do y'all want out of making idols? What do you want? What do you want in Christianity out of making idols? Argue with your mama. Comb on the head. Fix it. It's heartbreaking. It's a burden to watch people get online and talk about how they pastor, led, mentor, and been in church for 30 and 40 years, listening to the young women that talk about how they was essayed, propositioned, and raped by their youth leaders, and how their youth leaders would pawn and ventriloquy different other boys in the youth ministry to get with the women, how these old 40, 50, 60-year-old youth pastors is touching and rubbing and feeling on 10, 11, 12-year-old girls in the church. How many of these pedophiles we seeing every day with C-SPAN, and how people say, oh my God, they go to church with me and I would have never thought, or he was a this, or he is a that, and or she was this and that, and they like, and I never thought or suspect. This is why I say y'all better be watching who y'all bring y'all kids around. Y'all need to go out here and listen to these people. One thing about me, I love perspectives from about a topic from all angles. I don't need people to agree with me all the time. And that's a problem with some of y'all. Y'all want people that agree with you all the time. You need a different perspective. Because sometimes when you get that person that don't agree with you and you get them to talk to you why they don't agree with you, you kind of have to sit with and either, like I said, adjust yourself or understand where they're coming from and either try to help them or whatever you need to do. I don't need people that's very dangerous. That's narcissistic to want only people around you want is people like you. People who have the same thoughts, ideals, and everything and like you. And anybody that don't agree with you is has a phobia of you or hate you or whatever. Come on, be so for real. We are not called to be in a group think tank. You got your own mind, your own brain. Think for yourself. Traumatic things shouldn't have to happen, or drastic measures shouldn't have to happen for you to understand the consequences of your action. People shouldn't have to die for your bad decision making. I look at some of this stuff and I'm like, y'all really can't be that greedy that you will write away your own best interests and then come cry about it when you lose. Because, baby, explain that to me. Because that math don't make sense to me. I just want the church to do better as a whole, as a collective. I don't care what sect of Christianity. We have to do better. We have to be better stewards of Christ. It's literally Christianity is a follower of Christ. And we need to learn how to serve well, steward well. Not only just be hearers of the word, but doers of the word. And that's biblical. The Bible tells you to study to show yourself approved. The Bible even tells you, it speaks on Ephesians 4, which if you've been around here a long time, I did a part about Ephesians 4. It's my favorite set of verses in the Bible, where it tell you to forget or forsake the formal thinking, the things that you were taught, and get your own understanding so you won't be tossed to and fro. Do you not understand and dependent on somebody else's understanding of something instead of getting your own knowledge of it? Makes you shaky. It's like playing telephone. And the amount of people, we just drift back to yesterday, and Pete had said, the amount of people that didn't know that that wasn't in the Bible is insane. Because, baby, what? But when you don't show nothing, you don't know nothing. Y'all want this to be Christian content until it becomes Christian content, and then y'all won't hear it. Because that ain't what I thought it was going to be, Kiwi. Like, that's a little harsh. It's not harsh. It's the reality of what we're going through. People are losing their jobs every day. They're losing their homes every day. They can't feed themselves. They can't feed their kids. They can't find sitters. They're losing everything they worked so hard for. Do y'all not understand, if I don't find the money to pay for this house mortgage is almost finished. And just like that, I'm going to lose it. Come on now. Do better. Let's do better. Don't be offensive. Take the fence down and love one another as Christ loved the church. Stop attaching all this foolishness to principles of faith. People are literally walking out every day. Every time I look up, somebody dying, somebody grieving, somebody losing their mama, child, sister, brother, cousin, everything. That's why every opportunity that God give me to witness of the goodness of, babe, I'm going to do it. Because he been too good to me. Let me tell you something. I've sat and I've watched since the weekend, all of these black women dying at the hands of men, their spouses and stuff. And baby, let me tell you that 12, 13 years ago, that was supposed to be me if God didn't give me the sense to snatch myself out of that. I was supposed to be out there in a cemetery plot or in an urn, baby. Because that man wanted me off this earth. He wasn't playing with me. And to sit and watch people lose their mama, lose their and everything, and some of them in front of they lost their mama and stuff in front of their kids, and killed the mama and the kids and all of this stuff. Like, baby, these relationships, something I learned walking out of that marriage is not worth it. Baby, any amount of red flag you see, take it and run. These men are not men anymore. They're not being taught rejection and temperament and anything. All they know how to do is go from green to red. It hurts my feelings to watch so many people, especially so many black women this week, lose their life. It's crazy. Husbands killing them, taking them out, taking themselves out. Sons killing them. And I have to sit and stop and say, thank you, Lord. I know they family hurt and I'm breathing and I'm praying for them. But Lord, I recognize that could have been my mama and my daddy and my stepmama and my stepdaddy burying me 12 years ago. And not just me, potentially Christian too. But baby, I had sense to walk away. Every woman don't get their chance to walk away from domestic. And if you follow the news like I do, and I know it's bad for your mental health, do y'all see how sick and twisted dating and marriage is getting now? And what people are doing to their partners now? It's a cold world out there. It's Antarctica out there. You got to take care of yourself. That any sign a man give you or a woman give you that they abusive or anything, baby, don't hold on to it. Let that go. Let them have it. And I'm talking about the mistreaters too, like the Teddy and Erica Campbell situation. I mean, Tina and Teddy. Hold on, Erica. Wait a minute, Erica. Had to remember which one. I get them mixed up in my head. And listen, when she was spinning her rap scarf around 12 years ago, screaming at us on national TV, she should have been walking away then. Please stop letting people, and I see this happening in all kind of dynamic relationships. Stop letting these people humiliate you in front of everybody. Stop letting these people embarrass you because things happened before you got embarrassed. When it was private, that's when it was time to hang it up. Stop letting these folk dog walk you in public. You're not a subservient. You don't need people like y'all think y'all need people. Some of y'all need to learn how to be alone. And I'm talking about no friendships, no relationships, no nothing. You just need to learn how to be alone so you get to know yourself so a nigga can't chin check you. This is why you can't tell me nothing about myself, babe, because I've been alone so long and I needed that time to get to know who I was because I was going from man after 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 man. I done that. And I'm going to tell you now, chasing it ain't fun. And as hard as I was trying to be and stuff, I hurt my own self sometimes. Because regardless of what people say, which is why I can say it now, I don't care how tough you is, you just want to lay up and screw. Baby, screwing come with feelings. And there was plenty of times. Plenty of times. Well, we just finna hook up right now and I caught some feelings. A couple times I went crazy. That's why I can take accountability for my own life. A lot of that my fault, man. You ain't got to tell me. I ain't had no business. Now let me swap gears over here to this literacy crisis because I got a lot of flack about that too. And I don't understand what I got to flack about it because y'all literally the amount of adults that can't comprehend what they read is crazy. Comprehend and can recall facts, make an inference, give a sequence. I had to go back and look and see what comprehension entail. I know. Define vocabulary, important vocabulary in the text. Give synonyms, antonyms. Understand other parts of speech and figurative language in a story that's being told to them. It's crazy work, y'all. But we so attached and so glued to these electronics that we think it's supposed to do it all. These electronics, as good as they is, they can't think for you, babe. This is why y'all think ChatGPT is 100% accurate. ChatGPT gonna do what you tell it to do. Come on now, y'all. Don't be a fool. The systems of this world is failing, and y'all want to argue. Go on. I can't stress y'all enough. You need to know how to read for jobs, form. And you got to and help your own children. There are parents on the internet right now that cry about doing helping their small children with their homework, and I'm talking about things like picking out a noun and a verb out of a sentence, baby. Why? You're an adult. It's a problem. It's a lot of how a lot of y'all get into arguments because y'all don't understand words. Because y'all don't understand how to go get informed and be researched. Y'all just listen to what people tell y'all and whatever. Y'all don't go fact check nothing. I'm gonna leave y'all right now, babe. Y'all, it's tough. And this one, the last, is this right here, the proximity. I had several Karen encounters in my inbox. Some from people that I actually know really well. Some of them, eh. I want y'all to know that there are people who interact with me on a daily basis that say very prejudicial, separatist, and racist things all the time. And they are not aware. Or they could be. Most of the time I don't think that they're aware. My intention with that podcast was never to hurt anybody. It was to bring awareness. Which is why I said go watch Deconstructing Karen. And two of my white friends went and watched Deconstructing Karen, and they called me and they told me they watched it. They was like, one of them told me like I watched it twice. It's like because I had to go really sink in and listen to what they were saying. And I'll admit myself, I say some stuff I probably ain't had no business saying. And I understand between listening to your podcast and looking at that documentary, I understand now. And apologize if I ever said anything out of the way to you. Hey, please know that I never intended for it to be that way. I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be a part of segregation movement or anything. Like I get it. And the other one was just like, you know what, girl, this is eye opening. And it's like, I always wonder why certain systems and stuff work the way it worked for whites versus blacks, but deconstructing Karen helped me understand. and this is gonna bring me to some hate mail that I had got. I want y'all to understand something because it was said that black people are racist every day. No, we're not. I want y'all to understand that black schools, places that tailor to blacks, blacks, majority of their clientele is black. Black owned businesses, black events, etc. for black people. Those are responses to us not having equitable access. I want y'all to understand that the civil rights movement isn't 70 years old yet. Civil Rights Act. It's only about 62 years old. There are people that are in your history textbooks that are still alive or they just died, like in the last 5 to 10 years. The only person that's really been gone like a long time is Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. I mean, there's a few others. But I'm talking about people who actually made your social studies textbooks. Ruby Bridges is still alive. Since we want to talk about education, a lot of these people are still alive. Go Google them. So this is not hundreds of years ago like y'all want to believe in your head. The last school in Mississippi did not integrate into 2016. Yes, only 10 years ago. Let me repeat this again for y'all that think that segregation, racism, and prejudice is not alive and well. The last public school to integrate was in Cleveland, Mississippi. I think it's Cleveland High School. I have to go back and check my facts. And that did not happen until 2016. It's the same way you come up between the Emancipation Proclamation and Juneteenth. Juneteenth. Yes. In 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. It wasn't until Juneteenth, which signified when the last slaves in Texas actually found out that they was free, that all the slaves were free. But y'all don't research, so y'all don't know nothing. Y'all just think, oh, black people, they talk about racism, but they so racist themselves. They so racist themselves. They racist. You talk about a black-owned business because there was a time when black people couldn't own a business. Even now, do y'all not know that it's very hard for black business owners to get with the same resources, assets, credit scores, to get the same lenders to approve them for loans as their white cohorts, peers? There are, to this day, access for black people is still very limited. People do enough just to say, not just to say, just to make it appear like they're not racist. There are still jobs refusing to hire black people. They discriminate and look at their names and say, oh, her name is Shaniqua, she black. Yeah, not interviewing her. This is why black people create spaces. It's in response to being discriminated against, or segregation. It's not racist. I want to go to school too. I should be able to go to school too. I need to work and pay my bills too, just like you do. But y'all don't research nothing. Y'all are still talking about slavery and civil rights, and that was hundreds of years ago. No, it wasn't. these things are not that old. The integration of schools in Georgia is only 50 for 55 years. School has only been integrated 55 years. 1971. Mind you, HBCUs came around in the 1860s, right? No, hold on, 1700s. Sorry. This is when black people couldn't go to white schools. There are people who hold like their black ancestors denial letter to places like Emory and places because they were Negro, and the application or the response letter, it says on there, we don't admit Negroes. Black spaces are a response, not a means to push people out. And for the ones of y'all that are totally ignorant, white people go to HBCUs every day. There are white people in HBCUs. There are white people in black D9 sororities and all the things. I have to let some of this stuff hang out with y'all. Y'all be acting crazy. Let me breathe. Stop calling everything you don't understand. You're just as racist as I am. Get some understanding, babe. Black spaces had to be created because we were not welcomed into white spaces. And even now, there are still places in the United States of America that black people are not welcomed in. Towns where they see black people, they call in. We got that bar right here in where is it at? Where is that bar at? Hold on, let me see. Hold on, let me see where it's at. Georgia Peach Oyster Bar, right there in Temple, is not welcoming to black people. You know how close Temple is to here? I just want y'all to be a little bit more knowledgeable. I wanted y'all to sit with that. Like, be better people all the way around. Stop wanting to be. That's what all deconstructing Karen was about. It's it's stop wanting to be the victim in everything. Cause I'm gonna tell y'all now, black people really don't care. All black people want is to live. Most black people I know, and in general, just want to live. And if that means we have to create a space, is what we do. You tell me no, you think you own everything? I mean, check yourselves. And it makes me sad because a lot of y'all are in very close proximity to black people and tend to be some of the worst ones. Got black grandkids, black in laws, married to black people, and you still being racist as heck. That does not make sense to me. Two things that shouldn't exist. One thing about me, I'm gonna stand on business. And as I get out of here, because I'm finna close, and I ain't gonna be like a Baptist preacher. I'm really finna close. I'm finna go to bed. Um, this is what I want y'all to take away as I close out season 2. This podcast was never meant to be an easy hear or easy read. And I want to reiterate that I'm not everybody's target audience. So if you don't listen to me, okay, I won't be mad. It's cool. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I got indigestion. Keep my gosh. I'm not trying to be disrespectful towards anybody. If you're discomfortable, if you're discomfort, if you're displaying a level of discomfort, then it's really not my fault. I really want you to adjust. Ask yourself some questions. You should examine yourself always to make sure you being the best you can be. Period. I want this podcast to be my experiences. I want this to be a honest listen. I want this to be a source of truth. I want to laugh and kiki, but I also want this to be a source for knowledge, truth, and information. Period. And please understand this. I don't really care how much you disagree with me, don't like me, don't care about me. You're not going to minimize me. I'm not going to hush. I'm going to keep talking about the hard things. I've been through that period in life where I was silenced. I'm not in that mood anymore. The hard things not being talked about is how we got to where we are. I hope y'all come back for another season, but if you don't, I get it. And no, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I really don't. You got a suggestion, anything you want to talk about, you know how to find me. In my inbox, send me a text. I always leave the numbers in the caption. I appreciate y'all for sticking it out with me. For the ones that truly stick it out for me, for the ones that truly genuinely encourage me and push me, I love y'all. I told y'all this week that this picking up this podcast mic has been difficult. And this week, just this week alone, y'all, I was able to. This is the fifth episode this week that is going to be uploaded. But in this week, I recorded 3 episodes just this week alone. I'm getting back to it. There are people that were disappointed you ain't made a pod in so long. I need to hear your voice, and they do. They do. I hope you stick around and grow with me. I put a lot of effort into this. And I really hope I say something that may impact. Because the truth of the matter is, real life told by QV ain't going nowhere. I just bust out another season. So this is what I'm going to challenge y'all to do. I want y'all to go examine yourself. And anything that you don't like about yourself, make a plan to fix it. And if you are a prayerful person, ask God to remove that thing from you. Just plain as day. Lord, anything that you don't like, and you should ask the Lord. You praying Christian, anything that's not like you, Lord, take it out of me. We are supposed to be on this earth to do His will and move in His way. But for real, if you don't like something about yourself, make a plan to fix it. Hurt people, and unhealed people bleed all over everybody and leave a trail of destruction. Don't have the blood on your hands. You'll be easy to spot. All right, y'all. With that being said, anything that you can do, I can't believe I talked for an hour. I wasn't trying to talk an hour. I was only trying to be here 30 minutes. Doggone it. If anything you can do in this world, choose to be kind. Be at peace. Be whole and not in pieces. I love y'all. But y'all, in this next season, get yourselves together, okay? We got work to do. We really do. I'll talk to y'all later.